Okay, so I'm going to go ahead and give you some help on worksheet 7.3. You said you missed C and D, I believe. Let me look back at my email that you sent me just to make sure. C and D. Okay. Yeah, so I'm guessing that was, let me look at your worksheet. That was 7.3. No, let's see, C and D. Yeah, I think that's right because you only missed. Okay, let me go ahead and help you on C and D. Okay, so on C, our problem is 1 point. I'm going to kind of write big and kind of spread my numbers out so it's a little bit easier for me to show you how to do it. Times 9.63. Okay, now when you multiply numbers, your decimals do not have to line up. It just happens to be that in this one they do, but they don't have to line up. In addition and subtraction, they do, but not in multiplication or division. To me, when I look at it, it seems easier when they line up, but they don't have to. Okay, so now what we do is we multiply like normal, pretending like those decimals are not even there. But before we start, notice that this decimal is over 2 places. Now, why do I say that? Well, if this decimal was not here, then the decimal would be here. Okay, and I'm just going to put it there for just a second. Okay, our decimal would be there if it was not here. Okay, so the number would be 178, right? Okay, now, how do I go back? There we go. Okay, so, but since the decimal's here, it changes the whole number. Well, in order to make it to go from 178 to 1.78, they had to move the decimal twice to the left. Okay, so just remember 2 times on this number. Same thing on this one. The decimal would have been here, but they moved it twice in order to make it this number. So then what you do is you just multiply like normal, just like the decimals are not even there. So we're going to go ahead and do that. Okay, so 8 times 3 is 24. So we'll put our 4, carry our 2. 3 and 7 is 21, 22, 23. Carry our 2. 3 and 1 is 3, 4, 5. Okay, so just 178 times 3 gives us this number. Now, we're going to move to this number. Now, the reason I'm taking it really slow on these is because I'm not sure if you're having trouble with the actual multiplication or if it's the decimals that are getting you. So, I'm going to take every step pretty slow. Okay, so we've done 178 times 3 and we got this. So, now we're going to move to 178 times 6. Okay, so in order to do that, we say, well, we'll put a 0 here. It's called a place filler or a placeholder. Okay, because we've moved on from this section. Now we're on to this section. Okay, so now 6 times 8 is 48. Put our 8, carry our 4. 6 and 7 is 42, 43, 44, 45, 46 on this one. Carry our 4. 6 times 1 is 6, plus 4 gives us 10. So let's put our 10. Now, we can put the 10 there because that's the furthest, it's on that end. So we don't have to carry it anywhere. All right. Now, we did 178 times 6 and we got 10,680. Okay. See how we're keeping everything lined up like this. Okay. Now, we're going to go to 178 times 9. So we're moving over 2 places. So we're going to put 2 placeholders. And we're going to take 9 times 8 is 72. Put your 2, carry your 7. 9 and 7 is 63. And 7 more would be 70. We're going to put our 0, carry our 7. We're at the end. 9 times 1 is 9. Plus 7 gives us 16. So let's put our 16. There's nowhere to carry. We're at the end. So that's why we just write it down. Okay. Now, we add it all up. Remember, decimals mean nothing until we get our answer. Okay? This is just regular multiplying. All right? So then you just add down. Here we have 4 10, 11. There's 11, 12, 13, 14. There's 1. This would be 7. And this would be 1. Okay, now we have our answer. But now we have to start looking at those decimals. Now remember, with this number, the decimal is moved over 2 times. See, 1, 2. Okay, in this decimal, it's moved over 2 times. So in all, the decimal was moved 4 times. Twice in this number, twice in this number, okay? So then we go down and say, okay, well, here we go. I'm going to use a different color. Okay, so this number is 171,414, right? Yeah. But we got to go back in and we got to add 4 decimal places to it. Okay, so you know the decimal's here. It's always at the end of a number, whether they have it there or not. So now we move over 4 places, 2 for this one and 2 for this one. Ready? 1, 2, 3, 4. So that becomes our new number. Now let me erase a little bit of this. So our answer is 1, 2, 3, 4. So our answer is, I think we have to round it. Did it say? No, it didn't say round it. So that would be our answer. It would be 17.1414. Okay, so remember, all you have to do is, they don't have to be lined up. The decimals do not have to be lined up in multiplication. It's easier when they are. They don't have to be. Rewrite the problem rewrite it big numbers and space them out so it's easier and you don't lose your spot. Okay, so I hope that makes sense. Okay, so let's do the other one. I think that one was C. Let's do D. Okay, so on D we have 2.5 times 48.6 minus 9.87. Okie dokie. Remember, we have to do what's in parentheses first. Remember, I think we talked about this problem because I thought at first it wanted us to do the distributive property, which meant we would multiply 2.5 times this minus 2.5 times this. But the instructions did not say use distributive. So if it doesn't say use distributive, then you just need to use PEMDAS. Okay, parentheses, exponents, multiplication, division, addition, subtraction. First one is parentheses. So we'll do what's in parentheses. So let's write our numbers. Now on this one, it's not going to be lined up. Okay, so we're going to, pardon me. So since each one of these has 3 digits, don't even bother with the decimals. Let's look at the digits. So without the decimal, it would be 987 minus 486. That's how we know what's on top, what's on bottom. So let's go ahead and put our oh, wait a minute. I'm messing you up. This is I'm fixing to multiply. I was looking at that thinking I'm doing wrong. Yeah, it is subtraction, which means our decimals have to line up. I'm glad I saw that. So it's all different. If it was multiplication, you could write it any way you want to. I don't know what I was thinking. I don't think I was thinking. Okay, so 48.6 minus, okay, 9.87. Now our numbers have to line up. Now, this makes more sense. I don't know what I was thinking. I was in la land. This is 48 whole, and this is 9. So obviously 48 goes on top. We have to line those decimals up. Now, what is this here? You can go ahead and put a 0 if you want to, because adding a 0 on the end of a decimal, it does not change it at all. Just like if we added a 0 here, it wouldn't change it at all. So you can add a 0 just to help you. It always helps me to put a 0 there. Then we're ready to subtract. Okay, so this 0 and 7, we can't do that. We're going to have to borrow. Can't borrow from here. There's not enough. There's not enough here. Now, you may do yours a little different. This way I do mine. None of these have enough to borrow from or subtract. So we're going to start here. We can do this. We'll make this a 3. This would become an 18. because we give it 10. However, we're going to take 10 and give it to this one, so it actually becomes a 17. Okay, making this 16. But we have to give it 10 to make this 10, so this would actually be 15. And then this would be 10. And now we can subtract. 10 minus 7 is 3. 15 minus 8 is 7. Bring down your decimal, because it's right there. And in addition and subtraction, that's what we do. 17 minus 9 is 8. 3 minus 0 is 3. So that's our answer for this. So now what we do is we take 38.73, multiply it by 2.5. Remember, our decimals do not have to line up when it's times, and this is times because, see, there's nothing there. What did we say it at 2.5? We can just line them up this way. Now, notice how many spaces there is here to the left to get to the decimal. There's 2 here, okay? 1, 2, and there's 1 here. So there's 3 spaces in all for the decimal. So let's go ahead and multiply. 5 times 3 is 15. I hope I saved enough space. 35 plus 1 is 36. 5 times 8 is 40 plus 3. That'd be 43. And 5 times 3 is 15 plus 9. 4 gives you 19. Okay, now we're going to scoot over a little bit, so we're going to go ahead and put our placeholder. 2 times 3 is 6. 2 times 7 is 14. Carry our 1. 2 times 8 is 16 plus 1 gives you 17. And 2 times 3 is 6 plus 1 gives you 7. Okay, now we're done. We can just add it up. Here we have 5. Here we have 12. Here we have 8. Here we have 16. And here we have 9. But we got to add our 3 spaces in. Remember, 2 here and 1 here. 1, 2, 3. So that would be your final answer. You might want to make a note somewhere that when you're doing decimals, addition and subtraction, decimals must line up, and you just bring them down. But in division and multiplication of decimals, it doesn't matter. You just count how many spaces there are and put that into the answer. Okay? Hope that makes sense. If you're still not clear on it, don't worry about it. Just let me know, and I can give you some more practice problems if you want to practice on it, okay? Okay, so I think we've gone over everything that you had missed. So if you want to just start on the next lesson, whatever it is, on your Google Classroom, and just take it slowly. Don't rush through it. You're not behind. You're doing just fine. So just pick the next one and work on it, and let's build on those math skills, okay? That is all for today.